A variety of concrete is applied in several layers to create a strong bond to the wall. Stucco is popular because of its low cost, earthquake resistance, and breathability in humid climates. The article covers stucco applications over a wooden or steel framework. The project is within the range of an experienced home handiworker. So, we are going to watch about the how to stucco a house.
Method 1. Applying stucco over a stud wall. First is check the weather forecast.
The ideal weather conditions for applying stucco involve an overcast day with low wind and temperatures of 50 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 to 16 degrees Celsius. Delay the job if the temperature is expected to drop below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, 4 degrees Celsius, or rise above 90 degrees.
Step 2. Put up sheathing materials.
The most common surfaces for stucco are plywood, oriented strand board, OSB, cement board, and exterior grade gypsum sheathing. Make sure to follow local building codes while installing the sheathing material. Step 3. Cover the plywood with building paper and come back over that with a dimple screen or other rain screen. Most building codes require at least 2 layers of grade D building paper. Overlap the paper by at least 4 inches, 10 centimeters, and fasten with roofing nails. You may also use a draining house wrap such as Tyvek drain wrap.
Step 4. Install weep screeds and casing bead.
Install casing bead as a plaster stop at the corners of doors and windows. Install weep screed at the base of the wall for better drainage. For this project, these two materials are not interchangeable.
Step 5. Attach metal lath.
Selecting the correct lath and installing it properly is one of the more difficult parts of this project. In most cases, you should nail or staple the lath to the studs, not the sheathing, at no less than 7 inch, 18 centimeters, intervals.
Step 6. Install control joints.
To reduce cracking, divide the wall into rectangular panels using control joints. If the lath is expanded metal, rather than stucco mesh, cut it behind each control joint to fully separate this rigid material into panels.
Step 7. Mix the scratch coat.
Mix the scratch coat from 1 part cement material and 2 1/4 to 4 parts plaster sand. If using type 1 Portland cement, you'll need to add your own hydrated lime. Mix with just enough potable water that you can trowel the stucco.
Step 8. Trowel the scratch coat into the lath.
The first scratch coat should be thick enough to cover your wire grid. Apply the scratch coat with a square trowel at a 45 angle. This layer should be 3/8 inch, 5 mm thick.
Step 9. Score the scratch coat lightly.
The first coat is called the scratch coat because of the shallow horizontal lines scored into it by a notched trowel. This will ensure a good bond with the next coat.
Step 10. Wet cure the scratch coat.
Mist or fog the stucco twice daily unless the relative humidity is above 70%. Protect the wall with a windscreen or sunshade if necessary.
Step 11. Mix and apply the brown coat.
Mix another batch using 1 part cement and 3 to 5 parts sand. Apply another 3/8 inch, 5 mm layer of stucco and screed.
Step 12. Wet cure for at least 7 days.
The first 48 hours are the most important, but you should continue to mist or fog it for this whole period. Wet cure as you did the scratch coat, but this time allow at least 7 days.
Finally, cover with the finish coat.
Use 1 part cement to 1.5 to 3 parts sand. Judge the appearance from at least 30 feet, 9 meters, back.
Method 2. Applying stucco over concrete or masonry. First is prepare the wall's surface.
If the wall does not absorb a sprinkle of water, or if there's obvious surface contamination, wash the surface thoroughly. You may apply stucco directly over these rigid, solid surfaces, but only if the surface is roughly textured and absorbent.
Step 2. Wet the surface.
Wet the wall right before you apply the first coat of plaster. This improves the suction bond and reduces the amount of water the wall absorbs. The surface should be damp, but not soaked.
Step 3. Mix the scratch coat.
Plastic cement is the easiest to mix and work with. Combine this with plaster sand from a dry material yard. Only add enough water to allow you to trowel the plaster.
Step 4. Apply and score the scratch coat.
Trowel on a layer 1/4 inch, 4 mm thick. Score this with shallow, horizontal lines using a notched trowel. These grooves will help the next coat bond onto the surface.
Step 5. Apply the brown coat after a few hours.
With modern cement on a rigid surface, there is no need to wait for the scratch coat to cure completely. For a stronger bond, trowel on the second, brown, coat as soon as the scratch coat is rigid enough to resist cracking.
Step 6. Keep the brown coat moist while it cures.
If the relative humidity of the air is below 70%, you will need to mist or fog the surface once or twice a day. Wait at least 7 days for the brown coat to cure, wetting periodically if it begins to dry prematurely.
Finally, put on the finish coat.
The decorative finish coat contains 1 part cement materials and 1.5 to 3 parts sand. Trowel and float this on in a thin layer, about 1/8 inch, 3 mm, thick. Allow it to cure completely before painting, if desired.
We hope it is useful to you. Please subscribe to our channel to upskill yourself.